Hey everybody, how are you doing today? I certainly hope you're doing fine. And I tell you, I'm doing just fine myself. I want to take this moment right now to say thank you very, very much for tuning in to me once again. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to welcome all of you to another episode of TJ's Topics. And of course, TJ is me. I tell you, it's certainly good to see you again today. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. You have no idea what your involvement with all of this means to me. And I tell you, it means a lot. It really does. Now, today I would like to mention something to you. I have a very interesting topic, one that you might find quite fascinating. And I'm going to tell you this. Now, I have people from various ethnicities and nationalities who view my little program here. So I don't want to exclude any of you at all. Please know that I'm not trying to exclude anybody. However, what I would like to talk about today briefly is something that has been prevalent in the African American church for a number of years now. And it's a term that I started hearing um, 20 years ago, to be exact. It was 20 years ago when I reunited with my childhood church, when I started hearing this phrase. And it's been on my mind ever since. This was back in 2005 when I first heard it. And now here we are in 2025. And it's still quite prevalent among certain congregations today in reference to the pastor. And that is what I'm talking about. So my topic for today is the angel of this house. That's what I'm talking about. The angel of this house. Now, where did that phrase come from? Your guess is as good as mine. But I'm going to tell you, I first heard that phrase when I reunited with my childhood church in May of 2005, because they were referencing the then pastor as the angel of this house. And I noticed that anytime I visited different churches, and keep in mind now we're talking about these black churches. And that's what I have to speak on because that's been my experience throughout my life. But in the black church, they like to put the pastor up on a pedestal. And not just in the black church, but in a lot of churches. But there's a certain way they go about doing it in the black church that they may not necessarily do in other churches of other ethnicities. Because in the black community, the pastor is viewed as a celebrity of sorts. You know, he's the star of the show because basically the worship service is a show that provides good entertainment. If you don't know for yourself, visit a black church one day. Go one Sunday and you'll see some of everything. Hear some of everything and experience some of everything. But the phrase, the angel of this house, is one that has stuck out for so long now. And I just can't understand why it even exists or what's the meaning behind it. Because when you think of an angel, you think of a celestial being, you know, a heavenly person, or, you know, that's what you think about. An angel, you know, with the wings and the halo and all that stuff. And they refer to the church as the house of God. But my question to you is that building really the house of God? Well, if I may, I would like to answer my own question. And the answer is no. That church building that you attend is not the house of God. The house of God is these temples, which are known as bodies that we walk around in day and night. These right here are the house of God. It's the temple in which the Spirit of God dwells, not these buildings, because these buildings can be torn down or they can be made into something else. And rest assured that within the next 20 to 30 years, a lot of these churches will be made into something else, because basically it's the older generation, the baby boomers. They're the ones who are keeping most of these churches going. And within the next 10, 15, or 20 years, the majority of the baby boomers are going to be gone. And so all you're going to have left are Generation X, which is my generation, and the millennials and Gen Z and the younger ones. And they don't view church the same way as the baby boomers and the ones before them. Therefore, a number of churches are going to start to close their doors within the next 20 to 30 years. And for some, it may be even less. But the angel of this house, also known as the pastor, what is he going to do when these churches start diminishing in numbers? Because remember now, the church is not the building, it's the people. And the house of God is not that building, but the individuals, each of us. And the Spirit dwells within us, not those buildings. And if they had any understanding of what the Bible says that they claim to preach and believe in, they would know that for themselves. But that's another story for another time. So the angel of this house, otherwise known as the pastor, who in many cases is the star of the whole show, that's who it's talking about. But I just don't get why they would refer to him as the angel. You know, sometimes they may refer to him as the under shepherd. You know, I've heard that too. But I think it's going too far, you know, putting him up on a pedestal. And mind you that the pastor's no more than any of us, because he stumbles and falls too, and sometimes falls a lot harder than we do because of the high pedestal that he's been placed upon, which makes his fall that much harder, and the pain that he suffers much more unbearable. So that concludes my discussion today on the phrase, the angel of this house. And I would like to know your thoughts on that phrase as well. And remember now, you don't have to be a black person to comment. You don't even have to be a churchgoer to comment. In fact, I would like to hear from those of you who are not African American and who are not regular church attendees. And I'd like to know your views as well, because my platform is open to people of all ethnicities and all backgrounds and beliefs. This is not a religious program by any means, but it's just one that I like to present from time to time, and I come on and have fun with you and stuff. That's all I do. So with that being said, I'd like to say a very heartfelt thank you once again for tuning in to this episode of TJ's Topics. I really do appreciate you being here. And please tune in again next time. Like and comment and subscribe, okay? And I look forward to seeing you then. This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding you that every round goes higher and higher. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.